right, let's go through these homework answers, and we'll do this, and that way you can sort of keep up with what's going on. We want to copy these following segments. So I'm going to set up at A and measure to point B there. And I'm going to come down here. I'm going to draw a baseline. And I'm going to call this point here point A. And I'm going to copy that length. There is point B. Excellent. So that one was easy. Let's do CD. I'll go ahead and draw my baseline now for CD. So I'll come up here, I'll copy, start at point C, go over to D, get my marking, bring it down here, here's my endpoint, C, and we'll mark that one, D. And the last one, we'll copy EF. I'll copy EF over to here. So here's point E. So I'll center on E, get F, and mark it. So I'll center on E, hold, mark, and there's point F. So there we go, we copied our segments. All right, now we're going to use the segments in problem 1 to construct these things. So I'm going to construct a segment AB plus CD. So I'm going to start with a big baseline, and I always like to start with the line to start off. So there's my starting line. And I'm going to start right here. It's going to be my beginning point. Let's get that back on screen. There's my beginning point. So I'm first going to copy AB. So I'll come up here, copy the length of AB. I'll even do it in the same color, green. I'll come down here to my starting point, set up, and copy. So there's AB. Now I'm going to take CD and add that to it. So I'm going to get CD. I'll do that one in the red. CD. I'll bring it back down here, but we're not starting at the beginning. We're adding on to the end. So I'll add that on to the end. And there we go. Now I've got my endpoint. There's AB plus CD. Let's do the next one now. Construct line segment AB, 2 EFs, and then minus a CD. So let's get my baseline set up. Okay. We'll start with an AB. So I'll go up here to AB. Copy that down here. So at my beginning point there. There we go. There's AB. Now 2 EFs. So I'll get the length of EF. There. I'll copy that, tag that onto the end of this. So that's 1 and another one, 2. So far I've gone 1 AB, 2 EFs. Now I'm going to take off a CD. So let's get the length of CD. That's going to be that length. And I'm going to take that back. So AB, 2 EFs. And we're going backwards a CD. So that puts my point right there. Okay, so you just sort of follow along with that. Isosceles triangle with CD congruent, base congruent to CD, and legs AB. So I still have CD. I didn't move that. So I still got my CD measurement. So let me draw a base line here. I'm going to start there. So this is going to be CD as my base. And you know what? I like keeping my base as the bottom, so there's CD. And legs are congruent to AB, so I'll get my legs, come back up here and measure AB. I'll do that in the green. And I'll come down here, and that's going to be the legs. So one of them is going to come from this point, so centering at my first point, and it's going to be somewhere out here. I don't know where, but somewhere out there. And the other one, because it's isosceles, is going to come from the same other point. Same measurement. Somewhere out there. Ooh, I just barely matched. Hey, if they don't run into each other, you can always come back here and say, well, let's make that a little longer. There we go. Okay? And now I've got them set up. So I'm going to go ahead and connect those dots. Notice I went past it. That's fine. You can go past point. There we go. There's my isosceles triangle. Okay, next problem. Moving right along with these. Copying angles. Okay, this is the one that everybody has a lot of hard time with. Now, I don't trust this line. Personally, I really don't. So let me get a place to copy my angle to. There's my baseline. Here's going to be my vertex. So I like to start by putting in an arc. I'm going to do a pretty good size. I like it being out there somewhere. So I got that arc. I'm going to copy that same arc to this point. Wow. Okay, see what just happened? My compass moved. So I got to go back and get that again. Let's see. Remeasure that. Get the same measurement. Now let's come back over here and see if I can do that better without moving my compass. There we go. Okay? So I'm ignoring this garbage here. That's nothing. Next thing I want to do, I want to measure the opening. So from here to there. So I measure that opening. And now I'm going to come to this point, center at that intersection, and take the same measurement. And there we go. There's my crossfire. So connect my dots, and there's my angle. Copied the angle. How about the next one? Angle B. So I'm going to go below that one just because it looks like it's obtuse. I want to leave some room. So I'm going to use, I'm going to put my vertex here. Doesn't matter where the vertex is. All right, so copy my opening. So I start at the vertex. I'm going to move my hand around this side some and draw an arc. Remember, these lines don't have to be super dark when you're drawing them, so don't try to force your pencil too dark. It's going to be obtuse. So you know what? I'm going to stretch that arc pretty long. Okay, since I know this is obtuse, I don't want to stop here. I want to go pretty large. And now I'm going to connect those 2 points. So from here over to here, and I get that marking. Now I'm going to come back over to this point and do the same thing. And there's my point. So now I just connected that to my vertex, and there we go. Off a little bit, but that's fine. Okay, so here's my angle. Okay, practice these. Hey, remember, you can create your own and just keep practicing. We want to construct equilateral triangle with the vertex at V. So there's going to be my vertex. Here's my vertex. And the triangle side must be equal to the length of diagonal of rectangle RECT. So here's the diagonal is from R to T, or that's my diagonal, or C to E. So that's the length I want to use. So I'm going to copy that length. Okay, so that's going to be a length that long. That's the length that I want to make all my sides. So from V, I want to come to here. So there's one endpoint. This is going to be an equilateral triangle. So I'm also going to say, okay, I'm going to have my point be up here somewhere. So I just don't know exactly where. So I'm going to put an arc. It's going to be somewhere up there. And then I come over to my other point and go, whoop, staples getting in the way. That happens sometimes. Somewhere up there. And there we go. So you just got to follow the directions. Remember, the idea is to copy lengths. Okay. Create parallel lines using your corresponding angles. So let me put a vertex point. That's going to be my vertex point. So I'm picturing a line that's going to be parallel through here. So I want to copy this corresponding angle to up here. So first, we do an arc through here. There we go. And I'm going to copy that arc to my new vertex. Ooh, look at that. I need to extend my line some. So I'm going to extend my line. Who cares if it goes through the words? No one cares. Now I've got that. Now I want to copy the opening of the angle. So I'm going to copy the opening of the angle. It doesn't matter which direction you do it. Most people tend to copy it this way, although it's the same distance either direction. And now I'm going to come up to this point, center at that point up there, and copy. There's my crosshairs. So from point through there, And there we go. These two lines are now parallel. That's actually one of the best ones I've done. These two lines are very nicely parallel. Okay, good. That is the homework. Like I said, you can always keep practicing. Give it a shot. Have a good night.